Eagles. 1 year ago today, we welcomed Saquon Barkley to our team. He signed on March 13th, 2024. Here it is, March 13th, 2025. And what an amazing year. What an amazing year. He starts the year off in Brazil. First game ever in South America with our first touchdown. A little route to the left. He goes to the left side of the end zone. Hurts hits him. And boom, Saquon makes it. And in that game, 3 touchdowns from Saquon Barkley.
I was about to say that.
You're about to say that? Yeah, you have 3 touchdowns in that game. What an addition to the team. I always talk about synergy, and you never know how a player is going to match with the rest of your players. So, when we first got... What'd you say, honey?
Why did you put your jacket on?
No, I don't want to put it on. So, what I first said was when he joined, a lot of people were immediately buying Saquon gear, right? And they were touting him as an amazing player. Now, I had never really followed him at New York or college. I don't watch college ball at all. But they were saying, oh, he's awesome, he's this, he's that, and the other. But I know for a fact that a player can be awesome in one system and not good in another, or great with a bunch of guys over here and not great with a bunch of guys over here. So I'm saying to myself, there's no way I'm copping Saquon merch before the man even touches a football as an Eagle. I'm like, what are we doing here? But people were like, all in already. I'm not an all in already type of guy. But this man not only gelled with the team.
There was a Chiefs fan at the store.
There was a Chiefs fan at the store? Oh my goodness. Not only did he gel with the team, but he helped propel the team to greatness. He was unselfish the entire year. All he wanted to do was play ball and win. When he got his opportunities, he made the most of them. When it wasn't his turn, he hyped up his teammates. He's the kind of teammate that you really always hope for, but rarely ever get, right? Somebody who's an amazing athlete, but not selfish and stuck up and like, oh, I'm that guy and I'm amazing and they're all bow down to me type of deal. He didn't do that.
Those flowers got spider web on them.
Okay. That is the type of teammate that I can root for, that I can get behind. So the man runs for over 2,000 yards for the regular season, making him one of the only 9 players in NFL history to do so. There was a big controversy when he did it that, he did it in more games. But that has always been what goes on with the NFL because we keep adding games. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Yes, I can open it for you, honey. That always happens, right? OJ did it in 14, and then Landon, not Landon. AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a receiver. He's not a running back. Dickerson had it. Is it Dickerson? My mind is going because we didn't go for that record. I'm sad about it. I'll get to that later. But he did it in 16 games. And then the complaint was, Saquon might do it in 17 games. But who cares? You do it in the time allotted. But he had his over 2016 games. We didn't let him go for the record in the next game against the Giants. It is what it is. But it was his attitude that I could see, right? I can't see in the locker room all the time besides what they put on film. I can't see how he interacts with the players. But to me, it seemed like his genuine personality. To me, it seemed like this is how this brother is on and off the camera, on and off the field. That he's like, hey, whatever it takes to get the job done ethically, let's do it. And you can't ask for better. So in the games that we had this year, hold on one second. in the games that we had this year, this brother was going on a tear. He would break off for lots of yards. He would carry players on his back as he went for more yards. He was just, it was outrageous what we'd see out of him. And a lot of that was of his own talent, and a lot of that, and some of that was of the O-line, making huge holes for him, blocking down the field for him, and making a way for him to go for so many yards before he even got touched. Then on the instances where he did get touched, he would break tackles or carry people for more yards or bulldoze people over. The production was insane. I'm trying to go back and look at last year's real quick. Last year's Eagles schedule. So I can really go over how it was. Okay. So, beginning of the year, like I said, Brazil for our first score. Then we came back and we played. Why does this not look right? Oh, okay. Because it bled. The way they did the schedule was weird. It bled into another one. So then we came back and we had our first true home game in Philadelphia where Nick Foles retired. So I'm like, oh man, what a great day for Nick Foles to retire. It's our first game at home. We got the Falcons. We should be competitive and beat them. And unfortunately, Saquon has the drop, right? Pass was good. Was in a decent area, right? He didn't have to stretch. He just made a mistake. We all make mistakes. But that drop, honestly, was the game sealer. He gets that. He falls on the ground. It's over. Then we go to the Saints. That game is freaking scoreless almost the whole game. All the way into the fourth quarter, we really didn't get any real action. But then he makes this big, him and Goddard, make these big plays in the fourth quarter that runs us down the field, gets us all the way and scores a touchdown, and then he gets another touchdown plus a 2-point conversion in that Saints game. Then in the Bucs, he had some good production, but we really got, absolutely blasted by the Buccaneers. A real spanking and a real loss. Then we had the Browns game where he was decent. But then you had the Giants game where we beat them 28-3. His first game, and really the only game of the season they played against the Giants, where he just went absolutely nuts. He went bonkers. Then in that game where he could have broken his record already with just a couple of games into the season, he's like, nah, let the young bulls eat. Let them go for it. So keep in mind, every time he's unselfish, every time that he comes out for a break, the much needed break, or, coach decides to sit him, these are yards that 5 here, 10 here, 20 there, could have got him the record at the end of the season. But he let it go. He was like, I'm a team player. All I want to do is win. I'm hungry for a win. I'm hungry for postseason success, and I'm hungry for a Super Bowl win. So he lets it go. Then we go to the Bengals. We beat them. He has some decent production there. But then his famous game. And when I say famous, I mean this game against the Jaguars and the Kelly Greens. This is what really cemented him, in my opinion, in football lore for the rest of his life. He made a catch from Jalen, broke one tackle, spun from another tackle, and did the infamous backwards hurdle over another player, and then got tackled by 2 guys. I call it the greatest 14-yard gain ever in football history. That's just my opinion. You can argue with somebody else, but that's my opinion. They made shirts about him. They talked about it, and they'll still talk about it. This is a play, honestly, that we will talk about as Eagles fans after he leaves or retires or whatever he decides to do with his career. The Eagles fans will talk about and pass on to the next generation. My grandbaby saw it, but great grandbabies and everybody, we will always talk about Saquon's backwards hurdle. That was against the Jaguars. And we almost lost that on some nonsense. That was where we really dropped the ball on the ground, and it should have been a dead ball, but they gave it to the Jaguars and let them score. And then after that, they scored another touchdown, I think within the next like 16 or 20 something seconds, that put them back in the game. But that game should have been a lock. Nonetheless, we won, and you got Saquon's backwards hurdle. Then we dusted the Cowgirls with some amazing production from him. Beat the Commanders. That was another slow one at first, where it didn't look like he was being gonna have a lot of production, but ended up having some really nice production at towards the latter half of the game. And then the Rams. Do you understand that Saquon Barkley, just against the Rams this season, we're talking about regular season and postseason, at 500 yards? 500 against the same team in the same season. You have some running backs that don't get that much production out of 5 or 6 games, and he got it out of 2. Then we played the Ravens, and he made some. It was a 3rd and 17 play, right? And we're like, why are we running it? Why are we running it? Because we have Saquon. We hand it off to Saquon, and he darts out to the side and scores a touchdown on the 3rd and 17. I mean, this guy really, really deserves his flowers for what he did for the city of Philadelphia and for Eagles. He made the season that much more enjoyable. When you already have an amazing team with AJ making crazy catches over 2 defenders, when you got Smitty making one hand. Oh, Smitty in that Jaguars game. I almost forgot about that. Smitty in that Jaguars game made that crazy one-hand catch and got it both his feet in bounds. Another poster moment. We have so many amazing moments. But when you have playmakers like that, Goddard, who, as slow as he is, the man works. The man is a workhorse. I remember that one clip where Mylata talking about unhook the trailer, and they called him slow because he couldn't beat the defenders to the end zone because he was a little slow. It was hilarious. It was freaking hilarious. Goddard, when you have all these different playmakers on offense, and then on defense where you have Sweat and where you have Bond and Coop and Slay and CJ GJ, when you have all Blankenship, I mean, I can't name everybody. We have production out of bodies all over the place. Matter of fact, I think in that Jaguars game, another crazy moment. Dotson made a catch where he didn't have full control over it, so he popped the ball up over the defender's head and then made the catch. It was an amazing play by Dotson. We have production out of everybody. So I got off track. Then we were at the Panthers, where we almost hilariously lost that one. But for some reason, the Panthers started playing good teams like they were an amazing team. And no knock on them. They just weren't that great. I think they ended up with like 2-16 for the year or something abysmal like that. But at the end stretch, they started to play real tough on everybody. Then we had the Steelers. Amazing win there. Production from everybody. Then we had the Commanders. And that was the one where Jalen got hurt. We ended up losing at the end 36-33. But Saquon had some amazing runs in that game. The next game, we regrouped. Cowgirls, I should say. Dusted them 41-7. Just absolutely killed them. Saquon made some killer plays on there. Back to the Giants, where we rested all the starters. Well, most of the starters, not all of them. We rested most of the starters. So what an epic season by Saquon. And being unselfish. I think it was Rich Eisen, I believe. He said, he made a really good point in a video about how Saquon was so unselfish and such a good player and such a key element to helping us have success, right? there was a mic'd up moment in the Super Bowl because the Chiefs had put the handcuffs on him. His coach had said, "Listen, part of the reason why we can be so successful is because the Chiefs have sold their soul to stop you." And it's left everybody else wide open. Where during the regular season, most of the time they were picking and choosing who they were going to cover, and when they didn't focus their attention on Saquon, he would break one. What's the boo? Yeah, boo to them. I'm about to say say boo to the Eagles. We're just giving them the man his flowers. Everybody deserves credit for the overall victory. None of it could happen without the rest of the teammates, without Jalen, without the O-line, the defense. None of it was possible. But he was an admirable part of the success. And it was funny because people would be like, you can't do anything without Saquon. If Saquon has no production, you lose. That was the hate speech that was coming towards us. But look, Saquon had very little production because they honed in on him in the Super Bowl, but we won, and we won in crazy fashion. So it was absolutely a team effort by everybody. And I just wanted to say thank you to Saquon. Thank you to the Philadelphia Eagles for such an amazing game, season and memories. This is one of the most memorable seasons that I've had as an Eagles fan, and it's been, like I've said plenty of times, almost 50 years of being a fan. I just can't thank them enough. And the shirt and the jersey may not mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but to me, to wear a player's number instead of making my own, since you can customize them or whatever, is special for me, and I appreciate him. It done turned into music in there, so let me end this. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds for the next season, and I'll catch you when we start again, or if there's some other like huge Eagles breaking news or something going on, I'll connect back with you. Go Birds.